Right, okay, now I wanted to do a test to see what the best armour was like in Dwarf Fortress, because basically on the forums they show there's a setup. Now the setup being that your character can wear on his body, he can wear one breastplate, three iron mail shirts, six cloaks, and that's all on the body, and the guy will be wearing this. I'll show you that in a minute. For the helm, you can have obviously your iron helm, 8 hoods, your gauntlets, just normal mittens, iron high boots, socks, the greaves, and 2 pairs of trousers. And this is meant to be, well, obviously, shield, whatever. This is meant to be the best setup. It's very expensive to make, though. It costs 14 metal bars and 16 units of cloth just to create one setup like that. So obviously, if you're going to create a squad of 10, you're going to need 140 metal bars and 160 cloth. And that's an awful lot to sort of put together if you're going to gear out all you guys like this. And I'm going to make them fight 100 times and see who wins and see whether it pays off. Now, I'll admit that I've already done this, and I only realised once I got to 100 that I hadn't actually set it up right, and the guy wasn't wearing the alpaca cloaks. And as well as that, he actually lost, and he lost badly, but I don't know why. I was watching it and I was trying to figure out whether he was getting tired quicker. He seemed to be getting tired at the same time. He was a little bit slower than the other guy, but nothing noticeable. They both sort of hit the middle of the arena at the same time. And like I said, he didn't look like he was getting tired. I think it was mostly just down to chance, but like I said, 100 fights and the other guy just kept winning. They both fell unconscious. The other guy came to first, choked him out. He got the less armored guy got disarmed. He got his hand chopped off, and he still grabbed hold of his head and choked him out in another fight. It was just ridiculous. But I'm going to try and set it up now, and I'm going to do it for 100 tests, and we'll see what happens. The only thing you've got to be cautious with is on this arena is sometimes when you put the guys out there. Oh, I'm going to pause it first because I always forget that. So we'll put them in the middle. Sometimes you put them out there, they'll have the axe and the shield carrying it on the back. So when you launch the fight, the other guy's got it in his hands, and he always gets a few hits in first, and it normally makes for a one-sided fight when you put them in. I don't know why it does that. You should put them all ready to fight. So for the other guy, basically what we're going to do is we're going to do the same equipment, but we'll just do... He only needs one cloak, one mail, and one hood, like you'd set up normally, one pair of pants, one pair of trousers, because... realistically, the only way I'd think to set up a guy is just with one of each of these things. I wouldn't think to set it with more. As for the skills, I've set them all as competent fighter, competent axe dwarf, competent dodger, and competent shield user. So essentially the same, but this guy's going to be on side 2. And we'll put him here. Right, so it's paused. So we can see in the items he's wearing all of this stuff, even though it looks like a ridiculous amount of stuff. So this is all in his upper body, upper body, upper body. He's got the hoods on. He's got 2 pairs of pants on. And likewise, this guy over here is wearing all this stuff. So the question will be: is he going to die of heat exhaustion because he's wearing 8 cloaks and was he wearing 6 cloaks, 8 hoods? And 2 pairs of pants. He'd certainly be fat and very bulky. He'd look like a bit like the Michelin Man, but I'm hoping this time when I do it, it's going to be a noticeable difference and number 1 wins to sort of show off the payoff. But I don't know. I did it last time and it didn't. I was worried last time that maybe there was something hidden really within like a secret attribute on the dwarf, because on this section here, the description, they both look the same. I mean, there's nothing there that says he's exceptionally strong for a dwarf or anything like that. And there was nothing on the last time we ran it. The health description. He's got a few less fingers, but I mean, he's got a lot of teeth. Maybe I should have put him as a competent biter or something. I don't know. But obviously, I'm not going to put you through. I've got to save this now. Save and continue. Right, final test up all this because I don't have to do this again. Right, we'll watch the other fight. And obviously anything that's interested in between, well, also the first fight and anything that's interested in between. Yeah, because there's some funny comebacks. They can literally, when you're watching so many of them, you'll think, because it's so fast as well, you think one person's going to win. And then all of a sudden, like the other one will do a comeback. It's crazy. But the arenas just basically just get covered in blood and teeth. So let's fight. About one. Oh, fucking 101. See now, the second one's set off faster. And he's quicker. He's going to win. The second one's going to win. He's obviously faster. Does he suffocate him as well? Okay, so first one. Dwarf 1 scratches Dwarf 2 in the lower front teeth and severs parts. Seven part fell off. So he knocked his teeth out. He looked faster. I mean, in here it'll show me if the first dwarf got tired. Dwarf 1 improved his fighting. Improved his axe. Didn't help you there, did he? He's still dead. So he lost his axe. Loses all the axe. Oh, was he disarmed? I didn't notice that. So halfway through the fight, he lost the first round. He lost his axe. Dwarf 1 collapses and falls to the ground from overexertion. So he's got tired and passed out at that point there. Dwarf 2, that's right arm. Dwarf 1, so he lost his shield. Improved my armour. Improve my miscellaneous objects. What are the miscellaneous objects like? Maybe found the shield. Dwarf 1's going enraged. Dwarf 1 passes out from overexhaustion. Ah, okay. So it'll be interesting to see if that becomes a pattern. If overexertion's a thing. Okay, so I'll mark that one down for the first dwarf. The second dwarf even. I just keep saying the dwarf, not really explaining which one I'm talking about. Okay, so the lower armoured dwarf wins round 1. The overexertion isn't necessarily due to being sort of overburdened or something like that. It could be just anything. You see how much faster the other dwarf is, though. He's done him again. Yeah. They're probably both unconscious at this point. No, he's overexerted. He's unconscious and exhausted and overexerted. He's going to do him. No. Overexerted. Unconscious, overexerted, stunned. Oh. What's going to go on here? He's unconscious. He's unconscious and winded. Oh, he's... What happened there? Did he kill him or did he pass out or something? Dwarf 2, he must have choked him out. Dwarf 2 suffocated. Dwarf 1 latched on firmly. He choked him out. How did he choke? He should have been dead. This is what I mean about these battles. He was disarmed. He was dead. He choked him out. Okay, so battle 2 goes to the heavily armoured dwarf. That makes no sense. I thought he was dead. I'm only going to get to the back end of this fight, but this guy was winning. I think he's just passing out for. He's overexerted. He should easily win this. The other guy's been unconscious for. I know he's unconscious, overexerted. What's he? He's unconscious, exhausted, seriously injured. He's had his arm chopped off, I think. Health, neck torn open. He's got no sword, but they've been like this for a little while now. Dwarf 1, he has to win it because he's stunned, overexerted. He's just tired. He's taking the other guy's helmet off by the look of it. Yeah, his helmet's come off. How's his helmet come off? What is fighting? He's passing out from exhaustion. That looked like it's all yellow. So he's pulled Dwarf 1 has pulled his helmet off and he's got possession of it and he strikes it. He's hitting him in the head, but he's just too tired to finish him. So it's, at the moment, there's nothing happening. Dwarf 1 passes out from exhaustion. The other guy's dead. He lost his. Looks like he lost his axe. This is ridiculous. It's the longest fight I've seen so far. I'm not, even with the other 100, there wasn't one that lasted this long. They're both passed out on top of each other. Come on. If you lose this will be ridiculous. What's the other guy doing? That's the helmet. He's pale, he's seriously injured. He's bleeding. Come on, he's going to bleed out in a second. Oh, this is ridiculous. There's all the blood now forming on the floor. The question is Dwarf One is even injured? Health. He's absolutely fine. He's just tired. Finish the fight, man. Come on. Finally. What was that? It didn't go on for that long before I started the recording. It's, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds? That was ridiculous. How did he finish him? He bled to death. He didn't even, well, was he bending his neck still? You'd have thought our time in the small arena is so brief. No, it wasn't. That was the longest fight ever. Liar. Right, so far that was basically fight 10. Was it fight 10? No, the next fight's fight 10. Oh no, yeah, that was fight 10. And we're even. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5 at fight 10. The only thing I've noticed is that the Dwarf 1, this guy, he's a lot slower. I mean, a lot slower. This other guy always launches himself across the arena first. But it doesn't seem... Is that his foot? Have I not got... Do I have to... I can think... He's got a bare foot, hasn't he? I'm only wearing one mitten. Oh my god! So what have I got on? Oh, this is probably why they keep getting their hands chopped off. I've set it up wrong again. They're only wearing one. Because it said mittens, I thought it meant two. Oh, so they're all. This is why they kept in all these fights. People keep getting disarmed. They're obviously chopping their hands off. Right. Okay. Back to the drawing board. I'll be back in a minute. Now, okay, this is going to be the fourth from last. Well, what's this? 96th fight. By 25 fights, the heavily armoured opponent was ahead. So it looked like it was going to be a steamroller. But then by the time I hit 50 fights, this guy was marginally ahead. So it's out of 100, I think this guy's going to win. So, I don't know. 95, 90% of the time, maybe this character, is going to pay off. But is the cost of all that armour worth it? 14 metal bars, 16 pieces of cloth, I don't know. Or I might be wrong, and he might not be winning. I might have miscounted it. But like I say, some of the fights can take forever. I mean, he's obviously well ahead at the moment, but no. Okay, so he's lost his weapon. They both lost the weapons. Dead. This is what I mean by the flips. You'd have thought when he lost his axe, it was all over, and he's come back and won. '97 fight. It's going to be a win for the lower armoured opponent, I'd say. This guy's unconsciously exhausted. He's unconscious and overexerted. So now, okay, they're both unconscious, so it's who comes to first. It's lost. 98 fight. Oh, he's going to lose again by the looks of it. Yeah, lost again. Fight 99. He's on a poor streak at the moment. He should win this one. He's unconscious and overexerted. He's unconscious, exhausted, and bleeding. You can just sit like this for a while in these fights. And it's just who comes to first. No way to tell, but I don't know if the blood's coming from this one. He's unconscious. His health's fine. He should win this quite easily then when he can. And he's finally dead. He wins one. So the final fight 100. I think he's edged it. I think the better armor's edged it. I think it's ahead. But whether or not that cost is worth it, I think he's going to lose this one for the final fight. Yeah, he's dead. So 51 to 49 for the poorer armor, which again makes no sense. So there's no benefit to that armor, even though they list it on the forums as it being the best armor, and the cost of making it doesn't show out. And that's twice now I've run this. Okay, the first time I ran it wrong, and they were both only had one gauntlet on and one shoe on, but essentially they're equal still because they've both got the same problem. They've both got one gauntlet, one shoe. So in that one, the lesser armored opponent won as well. So it must be down to the overexertion, because in this one it seems to show more because it takes longer to kill them. But in some of these fights, I've seen him literally winning, and then he goes on to lose. So obviously stamina is an issue. So why people think that plays? I think people must assume because the more stuff you can put on a dwarf, the better armored he is. So therefore, it must translate to him winning more fights. But it doesn't. The reality is this little guy here, with just the basic stuff on, is enough to that makes an efficient dwarf. Any more than that, like this dead guy over here, and one, you move slow, and you get overexerted, so you lose. So my theory is that no one's ever actually played it out and tested it to see what actually works. I mean, maybe they have, maybe on the previous version they have, and maybe it did used to work, but it doesn't seem to work now. So my advice would be don't put 6 cloaks and 8 hoods on your guy. Just put one on, because one seems to win.